All right, welcome you guys. Let's take a look at this problem from 5.5. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to use the property that says the subtraction of two logarithms becomes division of a single logarithm. So this is going to be log base 2, and then we're going to have a fraction. So we're going to put the x plus 1 on top and the x on the bottom. The first one always has to go on the top, and the second one always has to go on the bottom. And it's still equals 2. Now from here, we want to rewrite the logarithm as an exponential. And in my class, we say, we'll use the hook for that, right? So we're going to say 2 to the second power equals x plus 1 over x. 2 to the second power equals x plus 1 over x. So now 2 to the second we know is 4. And so we have to try to solve this equation. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the fractions by multiplying by the denominator, because then I can cancel these x's here. So x times 4 is 4x. And then we just have to solve this linear equation. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract an x from both sides. So 4x minus 1x will get us 3x. These x's cancel. And then I'm going to divide by 3 to both sides to get that x equals 1/3. Now, with logarithms, you do have to check that when you substitute these back into the original, you don't get 0 or a negative. So 1/3 plus 1, well, that's not going to be 0, and that's definitely not going to be negative. So we're good there. And then if we substitute 1/3 in there, it's not 0 or a negative either. Remember, you can't log 0 and you can't log a negative. Those are not in the domain of logarithms. If you try to do it in your calculator, you'll get an error. So you have to make sure that the argument of the logarithm, the input of the logarithm, ends up being positive and good to go. So it looks like we can keep 1/3 as our solution. Let's go put this in, make sure it's right. Awesome. So using the properties to condense multiple logs into single logs, using the hook method, or in other words, rewriting the logarithm in its exponential form, solve, and then don't forget that really important final step of check. All right, hopefully this helps you out with your problem. Thanks for joining me.